Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video. In today's video we are going to be making a shirt for Nathan. I'm going to be using this MCCALLS 2149. So this is the pattern that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using view E, which is this one up here. So I got this pattern from my local fabric shop, and if you watched my fabric haul, I did mention this pattern there. So I got it in a size large, and I did practice, sort of like try to make a garment from this pattern before, because I wanted to make sure that it fits in. So I used the cheap poly cotton fabric that I had on my haul to sort of like get the hang of it, because this is like my first commercial professional pattern that I ever used. So I wanted to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and I'm cutting like everything well, like I'm doing everything right, and the garment actually fits, because I just thought he wears size large, and I looked at the large, I looked at his measurements, and everything was fine. But I didn't know that you can actually check the finished garment measurements as well. So after making that shirt, it was too big. I had to trim like an inch of each side, and also the shoulders were too big. That was just a practice, and that was a cheap fabric. It wasn't even comfortable for him to wear. He didn't like it at all. So these are the pieces that I'm going to be using. So pattern piece number 1, which is the pocket, and I'm going to cut 1, and pattern piece number 2, which is the front, and I'm going to cut 2 of them. And as you can see, I removed the extra seam allowance, which was 5/8 of an inch. So I removed that around the shoulders and also all the way on the sides, but I managed to keep all the notches so that it's easy to attach the other parts. But I didn't cut off the excess seam allowance on the collar stand, on the collar piece, and also on the button stand piece. So I left the seam allowance here. This is where I'm going to attach the facing, so I left it there. There wasn't really much of a problem there and there, but I had to remove the sides. And then pattern piece number 3, which is the back piece. Also here I removed the excess seam allowance on the shoulders, on the sleeve, and also on the side. And this one I'm going to cut 1. I'm going to cut it on the fold, so it has like a fold line here. I'm going to cut it on the fold. And I'm also going to cut pattern piece number 6, which is the sleeve. As you can see, this is a short and a long sleeve combined in one pattern, and I want to use the short sleeve only, not the long sleeve. So as you can see, I didn't go ahead and cut off this excess piece here, because I thought I might need to use it whenever I do the long sleeve, so I just left it there. But for now, I only cut out the excess seam allowance on the short sleeve on the piece that I'm going to be working with. And I didn't cut it out here in the middle. What I did was I took just a brown pattern paper, and I put it underneath the pattern, and I went with my tracing wheel and I traced it, and then I just went ahead and cut it out so that I don't cut out this main pattern piece, because I plan to reuse this pattern for like short sleeves and long sleeves. So I just left it like this, and I am going to use this piece. And I'm also going to be cutting pattern piece number 6, which is the collar. So this is the Mandarin collar, Chinese collar, that I'm going to be cutting, and I'm going to cut 2 of the fabric and 1 interfacing. And I'm also going to be cutting the front facing, which is pattern piece number 5, and I'm going to be cutting 2 of fabric and 2 of interfacing. So these are the fabrics that I'm going to be using. And for the main shirt, I'm going to be using this beautiful, I think it's called Turkish 100% cotton fabric. So this is the one I'm going to be using for the main shirt, which is like really beautiful. It's soft. And then I'm going to be using some pieces of this shwe. Out of this shwe, I'm going to cut out the pocket. I'm going to cut out the 2 collar pieces, and I'm also going to finish the hem of the sleeve with this shweshwe fabric so that it kind of looks Africanish. So yeah, those are the fabrics. And I also have 2 threads. One is navy blue to go with the cotton fabric, and then one is orange to go with the shweshwe fabric. And I also have these buttons, which are really cute. They're like navy blue with some sort of like sheen. It's like marble sheen. I actually have 8 of them, but here I have 7. I measured 7, but I got 8 of them for in case if one breaks. So here I have all my pieces cut out. I've also sort of like pinned the interface to the facing, but I haven't sewn it. And I went ahead and removed all the seam allowances, not just the sides. I went ahead and removed also the neck and the front facing seam allowance so that everything can balance. So I hope it works. So here I have my 2 front facing with interface on. I have the pocket piece, the 2 collar piece and interface, the sleeves, 2 of them, and these are the 2 front pieces, and this is the back piece. So let's start sewing. So I am going to start with the pocket, and I'm going to try and follow the pattern instructions that came with the pattern, which are here. So first thing first, I measured about 3 centimeters and fold the pocket on the opening, and I'm also folding like a small 1/2 centimeter line. I actually saw this from Norris, so I'm folding this part here, and I'm going to stitch going around, pivot, go around, pivot and go around using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So now I have all the three main pieces pinned together. I have the back, the left and the right front pieces. So I have everything pinned together on the shoulders, and I'm going to stitch right here using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So next I am going to work on the front facing. I've already attached the interfacing with just pins. So now I'm going to baste stitch around except for the notched area here, and I will also do a zigzag on the outer layer of the front facing. So now I have the front facings pinned to the front pieces, right side facing. So what I'm going to do is to stitch here in the front edge and stop there. So from there to there. Also on the other one, I'm not going to stitch there, I'm just going to leave the pins like that. So here is how the facing is looking. I did hand stitch the edge, the end of the facing to the front axis seam allowance, and this is how everything is looking on the right side. So now I'm going to work on the collar. So I have two pieces of the collar and one interfacing. So I'm going to base stitch the interfacing on one of the collar piece, and then we'll join the other one after. So I'm going to do a base stitch around. Next, I'm taking both collar pieces right side facing, and I'm going to stitch from this end all the way to the other end, and I'm not going to stitch on the notched end. and I am using an orange thread. I'm not using the blue one. So I've attached the collar to the shirt with right sides facing, and I've only attached the piece with the interfacing. So I'm going to do a straight stitch here, joining the collar to the shirt, and then after that I'm going to turn the collar and then press it and fold about 1 centimeters and then press, and then I will do the stitch in the ditch method just so that I can cover all these raw edges here. So I'm done working on the collar. This is how it's looking. Yeah, so this was a struggle. It actually took me like 3 hours just working on this collar, but I did it. And this is how it's looking on the right side, and this is the inside. And I also did a top stitch using the orange thread, so it's actually looking good. So now I'm going to work on the sleeves, and I marked the wrong side so that I know which way is the wrong side and which way is the right side, because with this fabric it's kind of like the same. So now what I'm going to do is I've cut out these 2 pieces of shwe fabric, and these are about 2.5 inches, and now they are 1 inch wide. So what I'm going to do with these 2 is to finish the hem here. So this hemline is actually 1 inch, so I'm going to cut out 1 inch off of the hemline and then replace it with this before I close and attach everything to the main shirt. So I'm going to put this in. So I finished covering the sleeves, but I'm not gonna go ahead and sew them now. I'm first going to attach them to the jacket, then I will sew them, because I realized that I still have to close the ends here, joining the ends together and do a zigzag. So I will only do the binding after. So now I'm going to pin them to the main shirt. So I went ahead and pinned the whole sleeve, and also on the sides all the way up to here, which is about 4.5 inches before the end of the shirt. So there was a dot, and this is going to be like an opening, I don't know what it's called, but it's going to be like an opening here on the side. So I did this on both sides, and now I am going to stitch everything, and then after that I'm gonna stitch the underarm area of the sleeve and close them. So I just finished the sleeves. This is how they're looking. Both of them, they're looking really good. So now I'm going to work on the hem, but before I do the hem, I'm going to do a zigzag around, going around on the hemline first, and then after that I'm going to turn the facing inside out and then stitch a 1-inch hem allowance, clip the edge, the excess corner, turn it around, and then continue hemming a 1-inch hem all around. So I went ahead and did the hemline. It's done now. The only thing left to do is the side opening. I've pinned it already, so I'm gonna stitch this on the outside like so. So I've pinned it already. I'm gonna stitch it on the outside, and I also marked my buttonholes. So buttonholes are going to be on the side that has a pocket, which is the left side. So with the buttonholes, I measured 1 centimeter from the edge, all of them, and as for the distance between them, they're about 11 centimeters apart, except for the first one. I measured 3 centimeters from the collar, and then the one on the collar I just put in the middle, and then 3 centimeters from the collar to the first button, and then 11 centimeters from all of them. And I also added 1 extra one. They didn't have a button here, but I added 1 extra one, and that's for the buttonholes. And as for the threads, I'm going to use the navy blue thread in all these ones, except for this one I'm going to use an orange thread. And I also marked the buttons. So this is where I'm going to place the buttons, right in the middle. So I measured 1.5 centimeters from the edge, so the buttons are going to sit 1.5 centimeters from the edge, but the measurements, the distance in between is the same as the buttonholes. So we have 11 centimeters on all these, 3 centimeters on this first one from the collar, and then the one on the collar is just in the middle of the collar. So that's what I'm going to do, and the shirt will be done. So this is the final shirt, and he just fitted it. It fits him perfectly. So I'm done with the shirt, and here are the sleeves. Everything is looking great, and here are the buttons. Everything is looking perfect, and also like the little side openings on both sides. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Bye.